Hello ladies and gentlemen, Pork Chopper here, and today we are looking at the brand new shiny hero, Morigesh. She has Divinity's Corruption and Growth and is a ranged caster that can keep consistent damage using her swarm to harass her opponents to weaken them for the final blow. This is more my first impressions of her, but with a good amount of tips added in. Also let me know what you think of Morigesh in the comments down below. She can be played both in mid lane and off lane, but preferably the off lane because she can poke the enemy support and carry rather easily and use her swarms to regain some lost health. But let's jump into her ability so you have some idea what the hell I'm even talking about. First up is Mark. This is her low cooldown high ability damage, similar to most casters out there. Difference here is you have to get rather close to them to use the Mark. It's an auto lock on ability, so no aiming is needed and can do rather big amounts of damage all going round as it scales very well. Cooldown is 5 seconds and even the mana consumption is really low too. Mark doesn't just look on and do ability damage to said hero, it also, funnily enough, marks them. This means they will be marked until either Morigesh uses Mark again on another hero or either the marked or Morigesh dies. Being marked means that the ability Hive lasts longer, and when she ults it targets the marked hero. If you have gotten who you have marked, Epic have added a nice feature where you can see on the voodoo doll who you marked last. Unfortunately, as of right now, if you are marked, you cannot tell if you are, which in my opinion was an oversight by Epic, not knowing if you're the one Morigesh could potentially ult. Hive is an AoE ability. Morigesh throws it and it will explode doing a small amount of AoE damage. It will deal that initial damage, then repeat the same damage per tick over 8 seconds. If you are marked, the Hive lasts 12 seconds. Each tick takes around a good second. For this reason, the damage is rather small in each tick, so it's not the best at wave clearing, but it is good to use to poke the enemy, keeping them low in health and making sure they stay in the battle, as you can't call back to bait until the whole duration of Hive has ended. It's really nice extra poking tool doing some decent damage. Cooldown is quite high and mana cost at level 4 is just under 100, so it's quite costly. Her last ability is Swarm. This is where Morigesh gets a speed boost for a set period of time. She can pass through enemies during this time. Passing through an enemy deals ability damage to them, and for each enemy, hero or minion she passes through gives her additional regen for 4 seconds. This stacks, but only can go up to 5 stacks at once. This damage is rather low and you cannot go through the send enemy minion or hero tries to get the regen. The mana cost for this ability is really high and for a good reason. The regen at level 4 near enough gives you half your health pool back, each hit giving around 26 regen per second. The duration increases when upgraded too. It's great just to help you stay in fights or farming. Going into a jumbo camp or minion wave to quickly fill your health pool back really helps her out, and again, one of the main reasons she's better in the off lane early on. And finally we have her ultimate curse. This is where, like I said before, it targets the marked enemy hero. It creates an image of Morigesh from her swarms, and like you can see her stab the voodoo doll and it deals big amount of ability damage. This is a universal ult and will hit the last person you marked even if it was 10 minutes ago, as long as you or the enemy hero has not died. Now that's out the way, what do I think of her kit? Well, it's really simple to use and does a lot of damage. She fits the Katniss Shimby type hero where you just want to pile on that damage and not really focus on much else. Maybe a bit of mana, but that's it. Late game her mark can deal like 470 damage while her ult does around 600 damage. This is insane as you can combo her mark and Hive easily as you can't really miss. It does a lot of damage while you add your basic attacks even on top of this, means she is a very strong hero currently. Her negatives are that her swarm doesn't give her much speed boost, so mobility is low. I would put stab link on her to help, and swarm can regain the lost health from stab link very quickly. Except for that, add a load of shadow scrolls on to help the ability penetration and power, and you are good. As to the witch, I thought would be a really good card for her to combo with a Hive ability damage over time, but it doesn't seem to work for each tick, which makes kind of sense, or else that would be broken, but like again, I could be wrong on this. You want to be careful in team fights as you have to get close to pull your abilities off, unlike other casters which more stay in the back lines. Be cautious, but if you're not in the enemy's main vision and they are focusing on someone else, poking a few marks in is great. The cooldown is super low, but I do wish it was a skill shot rather than auto target, as it feels kinda cheap with the amount of damage it does. She isn't the best in teamfights, not having any major CC, that's why I think a mid lane caster while she offlanes is a better option. You keep comboing and dealing that damage, pick your mark target wisely, mostly the weak heroes like carries, Katniss, mid laners, the ones you know you can finish off with your ult rather easily. The best feeling with her is to see an enemy like this, Twin Blast, thinking he's gotten away when he really hasn't, as you kill him off with your ult. And the most tricky thing here is to use her swarm during fights like I'm showing here, as one is happening right now and I'm rather low on health, and you need to remember to regain it. I go through these minions to give me enough health to make me feel comfortable going into this fight without getting instant killed. Finally, for upgrades, I get marked first, but upgrade that and swarm when I can. I leave hive till the last. The damage over time I don't think is that special to pick over the other two. But that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this little guide on Morigesh, and let me know what you think of her. Like her, think she's too strong, or what you want changed for her. Let me know in the comments below, and subscribe if you want to see a lot more Paragon content, and I'll see you next time.